orders. Celeste, please call a roll.
Case.
Here.
Jadish. Evans. Kasserag.
Here.
Leidig. Mead.
Here.
Slivka.
Here.
Stevenson.
Here.
Stacking.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Excellent. Okay, next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Fourth item is approval of minutes of July 26th, 2018. It's hard to believe it was that long ago, but it was. We can remember that far back. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Second? All those favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, so we have one item on the agenda tonight. It's a public hearing, zoning amendment request to rezone subject property from an R3 medium to high-density, single-family residential district to an R6 medium density 2 and 3-family residential district. Location is at 304 East Side Drive, and the applicant is Gary Campy, I believe your last name? Champy. Okay, so,
We'll get it sooner or later.
I'll get it. I mean, it's like your third time, so I should have gotten it.
Third time maybe the
Sorry,
charm then,
I am
you know.
terrible with names. I just don't.
Yes,
Okay,
Matt.
yes, I am, unfortunately. So I'll read the planning commission procedures for the public hearing, and then we'll get started. So we now enter the public hearing portion of our meeting. It is the Plans Commission's job to conduct these public hearings in order to receive testimony for and against petitions for the general amendments to the zoning ordinance, zoning map amendments, zoning text amendments, special use permits, and amendments to special use permits. The procedure we will follow for this request is as follows. First, the Plan Commission Secretary or designated representative will read the describe the written reports, items, and plans into the record. Second, the petitioner will present testimony in favor of the petition and will present any supporting plans or exhibits. Third, the commission members will have an opportunity to question the petitioner. Fourth, the commission will then receive citizen testimony both for and against the petition. Questions about the proposal may be directed to the petitioner or the petitioner's witnesses, and questions about planning commission process itself may be directed to me. Following such testimony, the petitioner and the plan commission may ask questions of those who testify. Finally, the petitioner may provide a rebuttal to any testimony in opposition. When all the testimony is brought into the record, the hearing will be closed and the Plan Commission will make a recommendation to City Council in the form of motion or motions. In order to give testimony, you must provide your name and address on the registration sheet located at the entrance of the hearing room and sign in the space provided. By signing the registration sheet, you agree to understand that anything you say will be considered sworn testimony and affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. When giving testimony, please approach the lectern. Speak directly into the microphone so that you may be heard. Please begin by stating your name and giving your address. If you speak additional times, please state your name each time for the record. Please be concise when presenting your testimony, and if your point has already been made, it is not necessary to repeat it. Each of these points is recorded and will be considered as the Plan Commission develops its finding of fact and recommendation or recommendations. You may provide your testimony in written form, but such written testimony must be presented to the Plan Commission Secretary or designated representative prior to the close of this hearing. After the process is completed and everyone wishing to present testimony has spoken, the Commission will then decide whether it has heard adequate testimony in order to make a decision. If it has, the public hearing will be closed. After the public hearing is closed, the Plan Commission will refrain from receiving any additional testimony either for or against the petition. There is one exception to this rule. City staff will submit a report based on the testimony presented at the hearing. The report will consider comments or concerns from all city departments such as the fire department, public works department, or engineering department. At this time, I will administer the oath of office to those who have signed the registration form. Anyone wishing to give sworn testimony, ask questions, or cross-examine anyone giving sworn testimony, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please be seated. Paul, what do we have on the record?
All right. The contents of the Plan Commission file is a map amendment application filed by Gary Chompy dated September 4th, 2018. A project narrative and a map amendment standards prepared by the applicant submitted September 4, 2018. A plat prepared by Todd Surveying dated August 30th, 2018. A Kane County Road Improvement Impact Fee application dated January 24, 2018. And land use report prepared for the Kane DuPage Soil and Water District dated February 5th, 2018. A memorandum and staff report from the Community Development Department to the Plan Commission, which summarizes the request and provides staff's analysis dated September 27, 2018. A certificate of publication from the Daily Herald for the legal notice that was published on September 11th for tonight's public hearing. A copy of the notification letter and a sworn affidavit stating that the notification letter was mailed to all property owners within 500 feet of the subject property.
All right, very good. We'll hear from the applicant.
Gary Chompy at 845 Citizen Avenue, Elburn, Illinois.
Michael Chompy, 1074 Lakin Avenue in Elburn.
Well, I'd like to start by thanking the Plan Commission. I know that we have been in front of you a few times before, and I want to say that the process has been diligent, but I think we've struck upon something that I think works for both the community and ourselves. In working with Paul Evans and David DeGroot and listening to the feedback of what we got from the Plan Commission and Council as a whole, I think it's been determined that maybe our best use for this property would be to lower the density, which is what this proposal does, keeping in line with new construction. So we would demo the building that's existing and then come in with a new structure. And they would be 2 independent units. They would be duplexes. They would look similar to some of our work on Sandholm, which has multiple duplexes that we've done, and then kind of what our rendering idea is here. Square footage would be somewhere around 1,800 to 2,000 square feet, based upon the idea of the price point that we want to hit as far as marketing the property. And the other reason that we like this plan is that folding into the R6 gives us the opportunity to not request a variance, so we don't have to come away with anything that, you know, the community would have to provide for us. That always becomes an issue. Once you provide for one, you may provide for another, and that leads down a road that I'm sure nobody is looking forward to going down. So we met the criteria on all setbacks, and also in our site plan, if you take a look, we're actually, in regard to move the building back a little bit, we're trying to save, there's some mature landscaping on the property. We're going to do our best to try to save that landscaping because we feel that, you know, that's an asset to any property that you have if you can maintain some of the mature landscaping and the trees. So we think that kind of works. We'll also be losing one of the entrances that's on East Side Drive. This will be, again, a rear-loaded garage design, so the only entry and exit we will need is from Dotson. So that gets rid of, instead of having 2, we'll only have 1. We have a nice, substantial rear yard for some additional ideas based upon who we think our buyer may be. Whether, you know, we create some additional parking, whether we create a dog run or, you know, a trellis gathering area or something. So we have a nice sized rear yard to do some things that make this a nice development. And, you know, our goal is obviously to make it a desirable project that people want to buy and move into. So at that point, anything you want to add, Mike, or?
I don't think so.
Okay. Any questions? That's kind of our rendering. As I said, you may have a copy of the Todd Surveying site plan. Kind of details a little bit about what we are thinking of trying to accomplish there. And as I said, These, again, I think will be a real asset to the east side of Geneva. We've done, quite a bit of work on the east side, and we're hoping that we can move this plan forward. We'd like to think that 2019 might be the year to roll this project out. It's going to take a little time to orchestrate everything. We've been looking at sewer, water, and storm locations and so forth, so we're doing our due diligence for that side of this project, and be working with Public Works and all other departments that we need to make a compliance with all the restrictions that are required. Any questions I could answer?
John?
You're fully eliminating the curb cut on East Side Drive.
Yeah, that'll go away.
I think that's a good result, because East Side Drive is more high traffic, less a conflict with the existing traffic pattern if everybody's entering off of Dotson.
I wouldn't want to back out into there.
Right.
So, that's, yeah, we kind of see it that way as well. And I think with the location that we've kind of come up with, the buildings facing East Side Drive, and there's always a question, do you live in the front of your house or do you live in the back of your house? You know what I mean? And I think it's based on what you have in the back, and
Right.
we'd be fortunate enough to have a really nice rear yard for people. So, we can create a area for picnicking or any of those things, because it's a nice size property.
Right.
So, that's,
You said 1,800 to 2,000 square feet. Is that per unit?
yes.
Okay, so up to potentially 8,000 square feet of living area.
Yeah, I think that's kind of our concept right now. Looking at it, we think we need 3 bedrooms minimum and 2.5 baths. I think that's our goal, somewhere in that area. I think that it kind of suits either the millennial buyer or possibly even an older buyer that, and that lower level, that first level with your family room and kitchen would just be one big room. And we think that that's a real play for today's market. Everybody wants that open concept, type of development. So we think that plays well into that side of it, so.
With the garage, this is a relatively flat lot, right?
Yeah, we're working on some ideas there, to be honest, and we haven't cemented any yet.
Right,
But if you take a look at James Street, we like a little of that concept of what he did. He took a flat lot and he elevated it a
Right.
bit, so when you came in, you weren't going up,
Right.
10 stairs or
Right.
whatever that is, 13 stairs. So he kind of took, and you see he's got a retaining wall in the front.
Yep.
It's kind of a nice look, and what it does is it eliminates 4 or 5 stairs when you come in the house.
Right.
So I think Campbell Road did that as well.
Right.
They kind of came with a retaining wall in the front, and you pick up, about 3 feet or so, 3.5 feet,
Right.
so,
Yeah, at least.
So-
and that,
Would your garages, they're rear loaded, would they come, what we see on the plat, will the cars be coming in that lower level then?
yeah, they will actually be pulling in what you might consider to be the basement.
Okay, so the main living floor, when you reference the one big great room, that
Would
would
be
be
one
above
level
the
up.
garage, and then
And
there'd
then
be, and then a
bedrooms
bedroom's
up
up on the
above.
top? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have one question, I guess, for Paul. So this will be R6, and this has changed around. We've had R7 requests, we've had modifying the existing structure. Now it comes to this, which seems much more palatable and appropriate for the site, in my opinion. With R6 designation, if this changed again,
Right.
and I'm hoping it doesn't change, but if it changed again, what could they develop without coming back for any approvals with R6 and this site?
Well, you could do 1, 2, or 3 flats on the property. 1, 2, or 3 units on a property. That's what the lot is for.
And this will be 2
This is
properties? This will be subdivided into 2 with one
Yeah.
common entrance?
Yes.
Ingress and egress over the one to the second?
Yes.
Okay.
But if you do 3 units on there, you need, obviously you'd have a wider, possibly a wider width to the home itself. And so it may need variations, there may be no more parking,
Right.
you know, needed, et cetera. It would have to depend on how that would fit.
If they stayed in this footprint, the outside footprint of each building, if they could squeeze a skinny third unit in there, they could do that if they felt they could market it and everything else, as long as they didn't have any variances.
Right.
Upon which they'd have to come for approval.
And they would have to most likely subdivide the lot in order to make that, because you need to put, for the 3 units, you gotta have a little wider lot for the 2 units. So right now, it's 2 on 2, and it's kind of a little extra.
So it appears as though without coming back for us, well, the subdivision wouldn't come to us per se.
Yes, it would.
It would. So without
If it
coming
were a
back to us,
subdivision,
they're pretty
yes.
much locked into this
Correct.
footprint.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. That's all.
Anybody else?
Paul, you've looked at this. What should we be looking at? What is your concern?
Staff will make a recommendation after, but
Yeah.
we think that it meets the standards of the map amendment. You know, the comprehensive plan is multiple family. Meets the multiple family issue. We think that the homes being proposed are consistent with. Obviously, a lot of people seem to appreciate the new construction over the old as far as the impact for the neighborhood itself. It gets rid of the traffic off of East Side Drive that we talked about. From staff's perspective, we feel that it meets the standards of the map amendment.
I don't hear anything negative.
I like
I don't
that.
hear a concern.
Okay.
Okay?
I just had one question on sidewalks. Has there been any determination on providing sidewalks on the site, or since the school's right there
I
and
think
access?
if there's a sidewalk there, it would be maintained and replaced, you know, if it was damaged during construction.
There is a sidewalk on East Side Drive. There is no sidewalk.
There are no
on
sidewalks
Dotson,
on Dotson.
Right.
The north side there, yeah.
So
That
just
house
keeping
was
the
just sold
existing
on the corner, so I don't know what the position of that,
Right,
but,
but keeping the existing one.
yeah. In fact, there's no sidewalks on Park either, now that I think about it.
So there's no sidewalks on Dotson, the entire length of Dotson?
On the
On the north side, on the school side, the
On the
south
school
side.
side, there's
Full side
sidewalks.
there, yeah, that's the main one.
Yeah, so you can cross from east side, cross to the south side and walk to the
Walk
school.
over,
So
yeah.
there's a protected pathway for kids and.
That's what the school
Yeah,
guard
that
does.
corner's very busy
Crossing guard.
at
Crossing
school
guard,
days.
yeah. That's what she does. She's at that corner of Dotson and then waves them across,
Yep,
you know, so.
okay. Any other comments, questions? Yes, Ron?
I move we close the public hearing.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Okay. Case,
Aye.
Kasserag,
Aye.
Mead,
Aye.
Slivka,
Aye.
Stevenson,
Aye.
Stacking.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I'm sorry, point of order.
Yes.
Were we going to ask for public comments? We should have.
There's only 2 people on the list, and
Okay.
they're both
We
in front of
could
us.
ask. You're right. We should
Yeah.
ask. That's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't,
just as a
yeah,
point of order, that's all.
that's fine.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion. We can vote on this tonight. I'd like to make a motion for approval of a zoning map amendment to rezone the subject property from the R3 medium to high-density, single-family residential district to the R6 medium-density 2 and 3-family residential district, subject to the findings of fact contained in the staff report.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Celeste?
Case,
Aye.
Kasserag,
Aye.
Mead,
Aye.
Slivka,
Aye.
Stevenson,
Aye.
Stacking.
Aye. Very good.
This will be scheduled for the October 15th City Council.
Okay, great. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, guys.
I'm sorry, Scott, I just,
all
you know,
right.
even though there was nobody here,
No, it's a point
you know,
well
well, there was a
taken.
gentleman
Yeah.
in the corner there.
It's a point well
I
taken,
just-
yeah.
we have to, I guess as a matter of procedure, we have to ask for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
can update the commission a little bit. We have several things under review right now. We expect maybe over the next month, Duncan will be here for us for.
That's right. Duncan, use the new
No
name.
donuts anymore.
Or,
Did you
for
hear
the
that?
206, the old Citgo at the top of the hill at Chrissy. So we think we're gonna see that soon, same as Oberweis is doing an outlot in front of Fabian Crossing, down at Fabian and Randall Road. They have three concepts within the one building that they're gonna do. It's a pizza, a hamburger, and an Oberweis ice cream. So that's their concept. They're working through the final, and then St. Mark's is doing an addition connecting the house with the
okay.
church itself. So it's gonna be a little vestibule area where they come in entranceway. It's gonna form a more main entrance for them. So anyway, they'll be coming. We have put out notices right now for next month, for October 11th, for concept review on the Geneva greenhouse property. If you remember a while back, we had the Geneva Meadows. This is, it's gonna be a 20 unit, single family. The zoning is R1, and they're asking for R3. So it'll be single family homes on the site. And they'll be coming in for a concept review on the 11th. And that's all we have at this time. There won't be any other public hearings that we have
Well,
scheduled.
I will not be here then. Nephew's getting married in Colorado, so.
Your what, your
My
daughter?
nephew is getting
Nephew.
married in Colorado.
Okay,
and so
all
I'll
right,
be
thank you for letting me
There
know.
that week.
Okay. And then the only other thing I had was, we sent this out, if anybody's interested, I'll just put a plug in for the Preservation Partners. They sent everybody in the commission this historic tiny homes tour. I think it's on Sunday or something, so, anyway, that's all I had as an update.
So no meeting, oh no, October 11th is our
Would be a
scheduled
concept
meeting.
meeting, yes.
That is in 2 weeks, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Paul, any clue on those, single-family homes? How big are they gonna be? Are they gonna be ranches? Are they gonna be?
They're gonna be ranches,
All ranches?
they're 2-story, they're,
Two stories?
one-story, 2-story ranches, kind of vaulted, so it fits into the vaulting. I think a lot of those. I'm trying to think. I want to get it right. Which one is it? I think it's 21 to 3,100 is the size of the homes. It will range in that area.
And can you divulge who the builder is or not yet?
Well, I guess they're going to be coming with the concept. It's Nitty Development.
Nitty? N-I-T-T-I?
Yes. So anyway, so that's what we'll have on
Have
next.
they done anything in town previous?
No, they've done others, but nothing here.
in
This is the
Geneva.
first that have met with them about
Has
it.
the neighborhood been notified yet?
What's that?
The neighborhood gotten their letters of a concept review meeting coming?
Yes.
They've gotten
Yes.
them already?
Yes, correct. We have sent those out, was it this week, I think, already, for that. And then, I'll tell you, somebody else that's, contacted me that wants to come back before the commission, Meadowbrook Manor.
All right.
So they're coming back again because of it was approved and they need to refresh their, approval now on the site plan and what's changed with KDOT. But in general, they say they can get their certificate of need and everything. And I said, don't come to us unless you got everything ready again, because it kind of lagged on. So anyway, my information is they're back and they were asking us about what the submittal requirements are, so. Anyway, so that's an update of things that we have on the hopper, and there's some other things out there, but
And how many lots on that, Geneva? on the
20.
Back on that, 20 lots?
20 are being proposed,
I
yeah.
think the previous concept that was fought by the neighborhoods was about 30 or 32. if I
But he had duplexes, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, that sounds about right, 32 sound about
duplex,
right,
that could be any
16
number, yeah.
duplexes, yeah, so, yeah. All right, well, that's what I had, so.
Okay.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you, Fred.